fucking.
It's just bonjour in
No,
your
no,
giant face.
nah. It's my face and game number two, but it's fine because
Oh,
we
okay, okay.
didn't miss out a
Oh,
lot.
no.
Yeah, I mean you can still kind of tell like, I mean you're not missing out any action here. Hee hee.
Hmm.
Hey,
Interesting.
Melly.
Taking a lot of time with this first pick.
Melly got verified, which is pretty cool,
I did see that. I was happy
right?
for
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I feel like it's about time, but anyways. Yeah, I mean they're opting for the lion pick again, so just going back for what they're comfortable with, and I mean Greg's salacious beef sure definitely did the work.
Ooh, I
Ooh,
like this.
Earthshaker.
Bit of
Okay,
a
this
switch.
was yeah, no, this was banned out by Blorp earlier on, so they managed to snag it up for themselves.
Interesting. So, uh, a Blorp gonna take the Jakiro. They
Mm-hmm.
did mention that they wanted to play Ogre and Jakiro together for that nice set.
I
Sort of
mean, how much of that is cosmetic banter and how much of that is real to be proven right here as Blorp
exactly.
Unlimited are literally lying their choice to
They
pick.
go back. They go back for the Grimstroke Ogre. Same opening as in the first game.
I kind of don't mind this because I feel like it represents a school of thought from Block, right? They're like, okay, and like it shows like the adaptation like at work because they're like, okay, let's identify what was the biggest issue for us in that game. It was the Brewmaster just fucking us up. So what do? We ban the Brewmaster and we still go for our game plan because they feel like that was what is inhibiting them. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for something a bit similar to what they had in game one as they're not scared, they're not the type of team that gets scared from losing one or two games.
Mhm.
Which is respectable.
So it's very respectable. I mean, I feel like to be a successful team, you got to be able to take those punches. It's not about how hard you get hit. No, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's a quote from, I believe, Rocky, one of the Rockies. Uh,
Wasn't
but
that a quote
um,
from Lilo and Stitch? What are you talking about?
uh, I believe, I mean, maybe they paraphrased it. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Rocky didn't directly quote Lilo and Stitch, although that would be noteworthy. But these bans is what I want to talk about. Morphling ban, we saw that in the previous game. Klink's ban, for I think we can say obvious reasons. Praetor really doing the business on this hero last game. And then on the other side we have the Doom ban. So no double Doom this game. They don't want to deal with it. And also the Magnus ban, which was also I believe a ban in the last game.
Yeah, I mean, with Double Doom, even though Rigby didn't really have the hottest of games, he still kind of made their lives literal hell, right? Getting those off kind of looked like something they've been practicing between Cheesehead, Greg, and Rigby. So, very nice communication. They just opt to cut that out entirely. The CK ban, this is a rerun ban from the previous game as well, so I'm not very surprised to see it. Although I feel like CK would be pretty good against this lineup. But I understand the fear, right? Ogre Magi and Gripstroke, both backline heroes that don't really threaten the CK. So, there's that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so OD ban, Mike's favorite hero.
No. The real OD enjoyer is not here.
5 seconds. Hurry.
Who's Jon Snow in the know? I feel like I remember his name, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm also not 100% sure. Are they a Twitch chatter?
No. There's someone from WLDL, but I'm not exactly sure. I tried switching on open mic before, but it like fucks up my shit. So I need to like get around to.
Necrophos, interesting. Now, okay, so probably Lion Shaky your support duo, correct? So where does that leave this Necrophos? Is it most likely
10 seconds to
an off lane?
I feel like it's so scary to play Necro off lane against Ogre Grim, right? Because both of these heroes are heroes that enable a kill onto you.
Hmm. Yeah. Not a pick we see a ton of. It's not that like, there was a certain time where you could play Necro 1, 2, and 3 very easily, but I feel like now is not that talent. It's probably not a very good one hero, and it has actually been picked 8 times so far. Only won one of those games, so a 1-7 record to the Necrophos so far in WLDL.
I feel like Necrophos is one
What
of
are your
those
thoughts
weird
on that?
heroes where you need like you need to know what, as in no disrespect of course, but you really need to understand like what you want to do, because the whole idea of Necro, right, is that you become this oppressive force in lane, you out sustain them, you force them out with the repeated spam of Death Pulse, meanwhile you're sustaining through the roof, you're healing up, and you force these terrible traits, right? But I feel like if you pick a blind pick Necrophos into 3 cores that you don't know about, you're in for a world of hurt. A lot of times you see those Necrophos picks come out in the 4th or 5th pick.
Fire team are now picking.
Ooh,
Did you sneeze?
no, a bit of a cough. Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Jeez. Yeah, but
Interesting.
I mean,
Not
this is
something we see a
exactly-
lot. It's second phase Zeus.
Only 10 seconds.
chugging some water here as I
Okay,
attempt
okay.
to stay
5
alive.
seconds.
But
Do you want me to fill? Do you want me to? Okay, no, you're back. It's fine.
yeah, I mean, staying alive is something this Necrophos will not be doing because he's up against the Zeus, right? And this is exactly why you save the Necrophos pick for later. But like you said, it might just be an off-lane pick, right? Just to try and like draw some attention away and bait them into some unsavory picks for the side block
10
Unlimited.
seconds.
Of course, Medusa. I mean, Medusa is this.
5 seconds. Hurry.
God damn, I'd be coughing.
I feel like this Medusa is kind of. I don't think they have an answer for this Medusa at the moment. I think this last pick is going to have to sort of sort it. It's most likely the carry, and I don't know, Bristle, Zeus, Grimstroke, Ogre don't feel like they have quite. They might run into some damage issues. I feel.
Wait,
at
are
some
you
point.
literally trolling right now? Alright, coughs again, but how the hell are you ever gonna have damage issues with Zeus?
That's
Especially,
true.
especially,
I literally looked past this.
especially
I
since
forgot the
you
Zeus
have
does,
a
like,
lion and an
million
Earthshaker and a Necrophos and a Medusa. Which one of them are gonna volunteer to jump the Zeus? Absolutely nobody. So Bristleback gets his Aghanim, slows up the entire front line of AM, right? And then the Grimstroke and the Ogre Magi are just throwing out their spells, causing even more chaos. And the thing about Zeus that I really like here is the fact that it outranges the Necro. You cannot get on top of the Zeus as a Necro. You're just
true.
gonna eat the lightning damage. And that doesn't, the Medusa pick doesn't really answer that. Sure, the Bristleback doesn't really ever threaten you, but how are you gonna be pushing this high ground? Like, you don't have enough sustain to walk through this Zeus and like all the damage you can provide.
So what kind of last pick are you thinking for both of these teams?
A Spirit for Afternoon Mercenaries. They have only one Grimstroke Silence and that's it. What other disable do they have? They need to capitalize on this opening. For Blorp Unlimited though, I want this Bristleback to be an offlaner. I want a mixed damage carry. I want like a fucking give me a Gyrocopter. Give me a
Maybe a Jug Maelstrom.
I don't really like Jug against Necro because it's kind of like signing up to lose your lane.
Okay, interesting.
It's gonna be a Weaver though.
Ooh, that is mixed damage.
Mixed damage, yeah,
Sort of,
but
I guess.
he needs to commit in to do the damage, though, which is a bit dicey. It's not like he can kind of play alongside this Zeus. But I think powered up by the Grimstroke and the Ogre Magi might be good enough, but it's so scary to play up against this Lion. And it's exactly what I was gonna say, because these instant stuns, like the Hex, the Earth Spike, the Duel now as well, and the Fissure, of course, can't forget that. Out of the tree line, out of Fog, onto this Weaver, no save to speak of on the side of Blorp Unlimited.
Yeah, it suddenly looks like a pretty scary game to play, both a Weaver and also a Zeus. If you can't get far enough on that backline, then, you know, Earthshaker can jump, Lion will be able to jump, and then Legion also with the Jewel. And once you're sort of locked down by one of those, there's a lot of stuff that can kill you. This Medusa's going to start pumping damage into you, and then you have the Scythe for if you get, you know, into that threshold. So I think it's all going to be on how these two cores of the Zeus and the Weaver are going to be able to sort of dance their way around the heavy lockdown that Afternoon Mercenaries can provide. And I think that's going to be a big pivot point of this game.
I think I'm really
This
scared
looks like
for...
the mid LC as well.
I'm really scared for the side of Blorp, right? Because the one thing I said is like, how are you gonna jump the Zeus? They immediately answer my question, and they sprinkle a nice little cherry on top as well. The magic immunity coming out from the shard of the press the attack is gonna really help Liberace just stand up on that high ground and hit away and just not have to worry about the Zeus damage coming out for a moment in time. And really, that's all you need, right? You can just rinse and repeat and really slowly.
Yeah, it's almost like a life stealer rage where you sort of pop it, hit the buildings, come back, and then wait for it to just be on cooldown again. You just wait for this, press the attack shard, and you hit the high ground. You know,
I was
maybe snip back a little
muted.
bit. Oh, he was muted
Who's
for
back? Oh.
45 minutes.
All right.
How you doing, Beats? Give me some initial impressions on these two drafts. Since obviously you weren't able to give us your thoughts into your muted during draft.
Yes. So what I was saying was that I really like the Necrophos into these like tankier heroes, like the Bristleback. I actually don't think the Zeus versus Necro matchup is too bad for the Necro. A lot of people think like he just ripped through Ghost Shroud with your abilities, but like the Necro, if he's playing smart enough, can kind of deal with it by just kind of staying out of it a little bit, staying out of that range.
Yeah.
Later on in the game, it gets a little more difficult because Zeus just has, infinite range. But I kind of like Dyer's draft here. I think I think Blorp has to play very quickly.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like that. I mean, it's not only that they have to play quickly on Blorp, they have to play in quite a careful sense as well. Because you get a bit too risky with your team fights, get a bit too up in their face then. There's definitely a situation where Afternoon Mercenaries can sort of turn it around on you and get a couple of quick kills until your important cause, and that can sort of just slow your momentum down a lot. So I think this will be a tough game for the Blorp. I'm liking Afternoon Mercenaries in this one, I think.
I think the biggest thing to me that stands out where it makes me sort of favor Afternoon Mercenaries is the fact that like there isn't really a coherent game plan for the side of Blorp, right? Like their heroes, yes, they work well together, yes, they kind of answer Afternoon Mercenaries here and there, but it doesn't really feel like they have an idea of what their game plan or what the fight is gonna look like. They don't really have any semblance of a team fight. It's not like they're really good at picking people off either. They don't have the instant jump and catch. It really just is this scream stroke. So who's gonna be the one doing things on the map? Like what is your plan? And for that reason, I don't really like this draft from the side of Blorp, even though I do love seeing Zeus and Ogre. But Praetor now rocking that mid LC is gonna be having basically the freest time of her life, and Zeus, typically a hero who's able to secure quite a lot of last hits, actually gets 2 denied away, so very nicely done for Praetor here.
Does Static Field get doubled with Grimstroke ulti?
Static Field?
Yes, the Zeus passive ability.
I do not think so, because it applies in an AoE of everyone who gets hit by the skill.
But does it apply on both heroes? So then it would apply in the AoE twice.
Benji, I'm not gonna claim I understand how Static Field works.
That's true. It's not.
I mean, this guy claimed that Ghoul Frenzy works through Doom last game, so.
Yeah, this guy's just a fucking liar. I don't think we can trust him. The education not coming in very handy for him as a nice little bit of a duel between Greg and I Melting here in the bot side. Both supports actually warded up the same spot, so I Melting should be aware that there's a ward there. But yeah, I mean, you pick the Weaver up against the Necro, you're kind of doing a little 1v1. Yes, with the Ogre it could be a bit better, but X2 definitely has a regen advantage, and I suffering a little bit in this early stage.
And this Earth Shaker obviously not typically a laning presence, especially not against this Ogre. This Ogre can just sort of run at you, be a big beefy boy, and Earth Shaker can be pretty useless for at least the first few levels, I think. Yep.
Here comes the
There it
Ignite
is.
as well. Once again, I Melting just laying in the pressure onto this pause 4. They're trying to go for onto X2 here, but the Ignite already used means that he just walks away scot-free. So nothing much to be gained from that, as just maybe a bit more space for Ice to get those last hits in. Nice little stun out, block.
Taking a real nice lead. Go ahead. I was just going to say, Praetor dominating this mid lane. You said it was going to be a free lane, but he is sort of taking that freedom and also putting the hurt onto Bearlord a little bit. I mean, he's only got 7 last hits compared to the 14 and 3 of Praetor right now, so...
Actually, I was gonna say it's quite a free lane for Praetor, because the byproduct of Zeus is that if you play the lane like Equilibrium properly, you always get free farm, and you just make sure you buy enough regen and like get your magic sticks up just to make sure you don't like randomly fall to like the overwhelming burst at level 6, right? And from there you're fine. Like take a look at Praetor, he's just walking up and hitting, he has no fear whatsoever. Like Bearlord can't actually stand in lane against him, especially with the overwhelming heal from the press attack now.
So this is kind of just a random question. Do we think Quelling Blade's gonna be nerfed in the next patch so that ranged heroes can't do it? As we see Ray Billy Shears gonna be taking some harass here. I think he's fine though.
Tower is being attacked.
Greg Scher as well gets Shikuchi'd on by ice. This could be first blood. Oh, one last hit, and they find it.
I catch it, guys.
Might get a return here. Nah, he's fine.
Sticking Shikuchi
In fact,
away.
Baja Black,
Very hard.
X2.
Wait, you need to be so careful about the... Ice.
Calculated.
Very nicely done from this Weaver and Ogre combo, and this is exactly what we want to see from the lane, right? They can kind of exercise this early aggression, and I think they were waiting for this timing where they get one level in the buffs and the Geminate as well, and very nice patience from the side of Blorp. Even though they were suffering a bit from the Necro in the early stages, they actually bide their time and they end up biting when it matters.
Yeah, but I think the big story of these lanes so far has been Praetor. He's really putting the boots to Bearlord. I keep always say Bearlord for some reason. Bearlord, sorry.
This is the art of perfect last hits right here.
X2, what are you doing, amigo? You're a Necro, I understand. But you can't really be fighting against the Beatles. There's a reason why Weaver is first picked and banned in so many professional games. This guy is just a menace from position 5 all the way to position 1. The Beatles are just way too strong. They take away at like every 1 second you lose 1 armor. Okay, thanks for the call out here. Rigby falling a little low. The mana drain not gonna keep him in place for long enough. And now Liberace throwing out the snakes. Don't cheese it. Greg tanking a lot of auto attacks, but he's gonna be okay. He's gonna walk away.
If he snaked the creep wave, you might get him there.
Oh, Greg pump faking that fissure, trying to fake out ice over here, but ice cold in his veins. Not gonna be scared.
Oh, Praetor's gonna hit 6 with his creep wave. Bearlord needs to be careful. Oh, he's going to the tower as well.
No, but manages to make the distance. Doesn't have the boots, but gets out in time. That could have been a disastrous duel under the tower. Bearlord wasn't careful. Looks like Praetor still wants to try and go for it though. Does he pop it?
I think the threat of the duel here, he's using it really nicely.
Yeah, but
And now it feels like Bearlord absolutely cannot.
Yeah, I mean Bearlord has to know that this is available, right? Like he sees the level 6 and he sees the Legion posting like that. He has to be so careful. You just actually stand there and duel him just to ruin his entire day, but Ops to hang on to that for now. And Praetor just gonna be pushing in this mid wave. Meanwhile, bot side though, bit of action going on. They just throwing out some spells onto X2. No big deal.
Mid lane?
Okay, mid lane. Oh,
There is the duel.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it's literally.
But it's exactly what you said.
It was like a ticking time bomb, right? Like literally, like it's a matter of time before Praetor just walks up and duels him. And I don't know, like Bearlord has so much time to react to that, but he just kind of like maybe just chances fate a little bit, almost like daring him, like really want to do me? You really want to do me? And he just kind of dies.
Yeah, he's probably not used to the matchup, probably not used to the amount of damage output Legion Commander can actually put out in that 1v1.
Oh, X2.
Coming
So he's
back
getting
with
his
life
revenge.
and a nice little revenge kill there. Praetor running forward though, doesn't have the duel. Gonna get stunned up by Eye Melting. Level 2 enough to keep him at bay. Nice little return kill instantly upon respawning for Bearlord here. Gonna work towards probably either Arcane Boots or Aether Lens. If not, it's gonna be the Aghanim String.
Top lane, Billy Shears in a little bit of trouble. He uses the salve, so he's okay.
Ooh,
Oh, he turns back
as
at me.
well. Setting up the kill potentially for Liberace, but it's not enough to save. Ooh, cheese it, Greg. I thought he was gonna come around and try and find Ray Billy Shears here, but both supports opting to back out instead. And I think, like we said, big winner of all of this so far. As much as Praetor's having a swallow time once again, it's Liberace once again farming away on this Medusa. Nothing to be worried about at all. This Bristleback doesn't really threaten you.
Yeah, the mana drain's been put in work for on this tower plane. I think Rigby has just been at 0 mana every time I've seen, and they ran out of regen pretty quickly on this lane. Rigby, I think, has been sitting on this amount of health and mana for quite a while now. Even with the Soul Ring, it's not very useful when you have literally 0 health, so he's going to get the health back now.
Bugs out onto Greg and
maybe
X2
gonna start.
as well. Here comes the Shikuchi forward. They want to try and get a kill. The stun is there, and Eye Melting helps his carry secure it. It's a double kill for Ice. And this bot lane starting to fall apart from the side of Afternoon Mercenaries. The Weaver is online.
Involved in every single kill so far. Ice 4-0 and 2. He's having a great start. Yeah, the bot lane really been the one that's been going the best for Blorp, and by quite a way. They've really, I mean, it hasn't really so much been the farm as it's been the kills that they've been able to find have been really impactful. They've killed this Necro a few times. Four deaths now on the Necro. 0-4-0. Not a great start for a hero that's supposedly supposed to be at least supposed to go even in lane. Oh, Praetor. Yeah, that looks like a dead Grimstroke. Does get the ink swell off.
I mean, the Phantom's Embrace keeps the duel from coming out. It has the haste available though, but is he going to commit for it? I don't think he has anything to fear. He's trying to commit, trying to secure it with that last hit. But the haste runs out, doesn't matter though, grabs him with the duel. And that is the first dual damage stack of the game. Actually interesting, I think that's the first stack for him, which means that, you know, earlier that kill, he actually didn't get the stack.
Yeah, I think the timing was just off. I think he sort of got the last hit in just after the duel ended, unfortunately. But at this early point in the game, dual damage, 10 dual damage, you can live without it, I think.
Yeah, I think one thing I want to point out is the fact that, you know, you mentioned Necro is this hero that kind of wants to get off to an early start, and that's where he's most effective. But the thing about Necro as well is there's a lot of times where you're just kind of drafted lanes that you don't really do well against. This is one of them, and this hero can really flash farm up with the Q and push out the waves and create some pressure. Ray
Billy Shears looking in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, he gets picked off yet again. The Weaver on the absolute rampage.
Nice stun.
Trying to finish off Ice, but there is the time lapse in time. Didn't have the it's still level 5, so he doesn't even have the Weaver scythe. Now being turned on. Ice a bit too far forward though, basically giving X2 a free kill. And that's a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah,
disrespecting the enchant totem.
Yeah. I mean, that fight looked pretty bad for Dire, but I mean, just a bit of greed. A bit of greed is all it takes, and now I think, you know, Dire's in control of this game between all of their lanes. This Necro has been given an amazing chance to recover.
Yeah, 5x streak going the way of X2. It's a nice pickup for a Necro who was previously 0-0 or Bear Lord.
Can he get it? Praetor with the kids out sees the TP, forced to run away. Rigby is here, but no levels in Laser Ghoul means that Praetor runs free.
I'm loving how Praetor's playing right now, just recognizing that he's pretty much the strongest hero on the map at this point, and just using his sort of, I mean, almost just the threat of the duel to force TPs and force rotations and force Blorp to do things that they don't want to do. Like, now this Bristleback is sitting in mid. I'm not sure that's where you want to be as a Bristle. Now this opens up space for your Medusa on the top side. You know, it just helps the game so much.
Yeah, they have to bring so many people from the side of Blorp to even answer Praetor alone. But even when they do, he just has that press attack to get himself out of the situation. Kind of like a get out of jail free card. But the rest of the side, meanwhile, of Afternoon Mercs just farming up and farming contently. All three at the top of the net worth chart. Only the Necro is behind Ice on this Weaver, but understandably so because, you know, he's not been having the best lane.
I could do with more of that.
Yeah, this Weaver's going to be, I think, going to be having to do a lot in this game. Going for the Maelstrom, so sort of that pseudo farming build can also do a lot of mixed damage in the fights, as you were calling for. And really the only beneficiary of these lanes so far for Blorp, as we see Greg gets taken down by Bear Lord.
Yeah, trying to
4 heroes on the top side.
Yeah, but they commit 4 to try and siege this tower, and spells just come up from the sideline.
It might be the classic tier 1 tower trade.
For the side Afternoon Mercenaries, they've rotated towards the bot side, but they don't really have enough tower pressure by themselves. And I could invite the rest of the side of Blorp to come and defend as well. I'm melting. He's going to be the first one as he tosses out. Ignites
Blink on one for Praetor.
Scares the Necro
away. Oh, Jewel onto the Zeus.
Jewel onto the Zeus, like you said, and managed to pick him off. A bit too far forward is Bear Lord, and there's a huge kill. Once again, Praetor making the moves happen for his team to slow out from the Mystic Snake. Whereas the backup here comes the Earthbite as well, and they're not even gonna need the finger. They have the side. Talk about a bit of an overkill. 40 seconds now on the sidelines for this Bristleback.
Yeah, Blink reveal for the Legion, but I think in any case the Zeus is a little bit far forward, maybe not respecting the TP reactions that could come in from Afternoon Mercenaries there. And they're able to chain it into a nice kill on the Bristle, and with the Scythe dead for a little extra time, which is always a very frustrating if you're the one who gets killed, but always quite nice if you're on the Necro's team. And now this yeah, go ahead, Pete.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think this makes the map a little awkward for the Weaver now too, because I mean they're controlling the spot lane for now, but as soon as Dire gets this top lane, they're gonna rotate down.
Though, immediately on the battle again, he finds the Zeus and Praetor just gets the kill. Makes it look pretty easy, honestly.
Yeah, just making a lot happen so far.
Yeah, this mid LC doing a lot of work, and you know, we were wondering if this Necro would go mid and the LC would go off, but Praetor grabs it for himself, and once again, the winning last pick, it seems, in his hand. He's doing so much work with this power.
Yep, and as you mentioned, Beats, the TP rotations down to the bot lane. Still on about half health this tower, so I think it's pretty healthy. And with that top tier 1 tower going down, it's the map's going to start to close in a little bit for Blorp. Already now a 4K deficit for them. Just 14 minutes into the game.
The Weaver did get a little lucky with the... Oh, good.
Yeah, all good. Sorry, you were saying?
I was just gonna say the Weaver got a bit lucky with the Possessed Mask here. It lets him to jungle. Weaver not really a hero who enjoys jungling too much, but I think it's a little easier with the Possessed Mask.
He's trying to get his jungle on now near the bot side, but so outside of Afternoon Mercenaries, they are hiding right in there. Praetor blinking forward. Where's the response? She said Greg immediately out in silence. Very nicely played for them from now, but where is the backup from the side of the Afternoon Mercenaries? Here comes the finger, but a bit too late. And Praetor falling a little low now. Echo Slam from Greg, trying to clean it out, but the fissure a little off the mark. And have they dived a bit too far? It definitely seems like it. X2, he's wandering in as well, but now he has to be so careful. Bearlord is there to pump out the damage. Pick pull as well from Rigby, just to get a grip on this Necro, and Ice gonna run straight through him, gonna run him down as well, and ends up being a 4-for-nothing trade from the side of Blorp. Very nicely baited out from the supports there.
Oh, yeah, very defensive positioning. You could see that Praetor was just like looking for that blink jewel, but he supports the hang back in the trees and bait out perfectly. They managed to get 4-for-nothing in that fight, and talking about a 4K lead, it's now down to 1K, and then maybe this bot tier 1 could be going nowhere as well.
Here comes the TP's in though, they don't want to give this up very easily. Here comes Praetor in immediately with the duel and gets it onto Ice like we said. There's no save available, but he's gonna be able to gets off the timelines but straight into a... Okay, does he die here? No, not at the present moment. X2 gonna be tagged down now. I'm melting. He's gonna be the one to fall, and perhaps going a bit too far. Poor thing on this ogre, gonna evaporate. But now Ice trying to outrun this death pulse as we see. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this poor little Weaver is trying to make what he can here. Oh! Possessed mask as well as the power threats.
Yeah, just a little bit casual, just a 10 health remaining.
Yep.
You know, as a classic carry player thing, just turn around to start, you know, farming again.
Is that eternal envy, or are my eyes misleading me? It seems like this man is
I think
farming
it might
on
be.
the edge. But I mean, yeah, 2k gold lead for Afternoon Mercs, but they've definitely kind of let it slip a bit and given Blorp a lot of space to get back in this game. And now, the Brisbane queuing up their Aghanim Scepter, going to be so pesky to deal with and slow up the entire front line. Meanwhile, with Aetherlands completed, Zeus or Bearlord looking towards the Aghanim Scepter.
An interesting thing, though. Okay, go ahead, Beats.
Liberace opting to maybe not go for the Manta here and going straight Scotty.
Right, that's interesting.
I don't mind
perhaps worried about not being able to kill this Bristle.
I feel like you literally do not need Manta this game. Why are you going to Manta off the bugs? No.
That's
the
true.
Phantom? Absolutely not. The Zeus damage? Okay,
I mean, it's
yeah.
useful pushing out lane.
I think so, but you can also just kind of do that. You're not really worried about lane push, especially with like your... With like the rest of your team probably. Because the thing is, if... okay, so here's the thing, right?
if the side of Blorp Unlimited wants to push out a lane, they need to show a hero. The only person who can really push out a lane without showing is going to be this Zeus, but then you kind of reveal the Zeus's position and he's not very mobile. With that though, that means Afternoon Mercenaries, they can just smoke to that place on the map and look for a pick off if they're like I said, stuns and disables out of fog, right? So it's not so easy for Blorp to just push out a lane in a precarious position. They can only really stand near their towers or near their like sort of the rest of the team or where they feel safe to try and clear out these waves, which is really limiting their map movement. As you can see, this entire side of the mid, but they're so scared of this blink 2, they're so scared of a stun out of the trees, and they should be, right? Because Ringby, he's the only one presenting himself here, but he's gonna be like the easiest, or at least the easiest person for them to dangle there and be like, oh, you know, we're trying to bait X2 in though. Here comes Praetor with the duel out of the cheese head Greg. Here comes the Zeus damage though. Praetor falling a little low. Is he gonna get the duel damage off? Not in time, but the Essence Ring keeping him alive for now. Now Iron Melting trying to do what he can, takes down the LC, so that's a huge kill. ES dead as well. A nice little 2-man stun, but it ends up being a 4-man wipe yet again from the side of Blorp. They're starting to turn it around here.
Yeah, it just looks like, I mean, it felt like the dangle of the Grimstroke. They fell for it, and Blorp were more than ready to answer with reinforcements of their own. They managed to get the Legion, and from there it feels like, without the Juicer's, you know, through all of this, Juicer's been on the other side just farming up. And does have some pretty nice farm, but, you know, this Weaver's winning fights and pretty much keeping up with the Juicer's net worth. You know, only 1k behind. That was a bigger deficit just a minute ago, so... Yeah, it feels like I don't know how useful this is for Afternoon Mercenaries to keep sort of taking these heavy losses in the bot lane. And as you mentioned, the Medusa does in fact go for the Manta actually.
Yeah.
Before the Scaddy realized.
Like I said, I don't really mind.
She wanted that item.
The lane push is pretty good, but like,
Yeah.
and like I said, they're playing 4D chess right now. It's all about the map rotations, right? Because like, you know for a fact when you look at this lineup, Afternoon Mercenaries, they're trying to feed for a pick off here. They're trying to run around with their LC blink and get those kills. Meanwhile, the side of Blorp, they just want to farm up. They just want to get to their timings and then hopefully take a fight and just outmaneuver them. But you know, the side of Afternoon Mercenaries, they don't want to let this happen. Both teams warding out the mid lane, so they're just staring each other down. This is a bit of a El Clasico here, as both sides just literally using any skill they can to clear the wave and get some vision or position advantage over the other. But nothing to be found here at the present moment. Other than a haste room for Praetor, this could make a kill happen instantly on the map. And running bot line, okay. Nope, just goes back to farm with this one. I was gonna say this case soon could enable any kill on the map right now for them, but they opt to play it a bit safe, especially after being wiped 4 times or 4 people down.
Ooh, smoke up.
Okay. Here comes the smoke though. Cheesehead Greg leading the charge. Here comes the Soulbind, but the blink immediately fast from Praetor here. But has he caused his Liberace Medusa to get into trouble here? It's Cheesehead Greg, the first one to fall, and Bela a bit too far forward. The damage is there from Liberace. We question why this Medusa took so long to come and join the fights, but this is exactly why. So farmed here. Ray Belicious needs to be careful. The minus armor coming in. A very heavy Greg as well, popping out the Echo Slam to keep that Ogre down, but falling a little low to the Beatles. But now the duel up onto Ice. Where's the follow-up? He's gonna get this time lapse off. Gets Praetor as well, and Ice says the time lapse to work with. Where is the backup Finger of Death used by Ray? And it ends up being a 4 for 2 exchange. So overall, pretty good for the side of Afternoon Mercenaries. They answer back in a big way, and through it all, it's Liberace on the Medusa who's still alive. And not done yet though. Ice trying to go in with the Sling Spell, but he got a bit too far forward, baited out by this back row. Nice little disables there from the side of Ray, and he's able to snag off that pesky Weaver, essentially turning it into a 5 for nothing. Or 5 for 2, sorry.
Or 5 for 2.
A true 50-50 moment from Praetor in that fight too, as he gets the one of the most incredible blink daggers I've ever seen in my life, and then and he dives into the Weaver and loses the duel.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a little bit of miscommunication on that. He went for the Weaver, whilst the other 3 heroes were sort of focusing this pesky Bristleback sort of running around on a slither of health. So I mean that's fine.
Really
I think it didn't really cost that much.
I mean, so much is resting on your shoulders as LC. You're like the sole mid move maker. You have a Necro on your team, so he's not going to be doing much in the ways of map movement. So you're feeling this much pressure because you know the Weaver is getting more and more farmed, and it definitely has to be scary. Once again, another duel in. Who has he found this time? It's Bearlord yet again. Where is the finish? It's not there in time, but the stun manages to clean him up. Here comes She Said Greg with the double soulbind again, and the silence running for his Rigby now with the nasal goo gets the deck off onto Ray here, and Praetor managing to get away for now, but X2 needs to be so careful. Rigby is in the thick of it all, doing so much disruption. Greg Sure as well, falling a little low. They managed to take down the Necro, and Rigby, he's running an absolute riot here, backed up by Ice. They have the damage in spades, and they take down 4 on the side of the Mercs. As soon as they see the Medusa pop out somewhere else on the map, they just surge forward like hungry animals and take down the entire side of the Mercenaries.
And Praetor is not getting these duels just by inches, too. It's really quite unfortunate for him, because I think he's making the correct plays. It's just that the rest of this team is just not able to get there in time by like literally a couple milliseconds.
Rigby, not who I expected to be sort of being the commanding force in team fights, but he definitely did a lot there. He's got the Ags finished with the Vanguard. He had sort of 7 Warpath stacks throughout that whole fight. Bloodlusted as well. This guy's a bit of a beast when he gets all that going.
And She Said Greg, I want to shout out too. The soulbinds have been on point in these fights.
Yeah, not exactly the big combos that you had last game, but I think that my opinion is that it sort of gives you a bit more freedom in how to approach the fights. I think it's actually better if you're a Grimstroke player to not have these massive combos that you have to work around. And Greg, Cheesehead Greg, of course, making it, showing why they first phases here in both games. He's performing well.
Yeah, and I mean, usually you don't really see the Grimstroke leading the charge, but it's so important that he gets that preliminary soulbind off to keep sight of Afternoon Mercs in place, right? We saw even, I'm pretty sure they saw that smoke, but I don't know whether they spotted it on the minimap. There don't seem to be pings or any sort of alert from the side of Afternoon Mercs coming out for now. And I mean, equally on the side of Blorp, they smoked up just to kind of stand around. So a bit of a curious decision here from them, but we'll have to see what they end up doing with this move.
Sure. Scotty finished on the Medusa now, so now going to be a lot stronger, particularly against, I think this Bristle is going to be the main one. Just slowing down that health regen. Pretty good against the... I mean, pretty much just the Bristle.
They're trying to find something here on Eye Melting. For the rest of the side, they back up X2. They run out by Rigby now as the Mizogu out. They need to be careful. Here comes the spells as well. The Zeus out and the Soulbind. There's so much damage. X2 is gonna fall. And Praetor trying to run away now, but being chased down by Rigby, he is. And Fire Shield negates so much damage. Liberace finally shows up here, but here comes the Echo Slam. They're trying to take down Rigby on this Bristol Bag, but he's taking so much damage. He ends up gonna be the one to fall, and Billy Shears, though, he's gonna tank the death to the Weaver, who picks him up on the sideline. Ice nicely done for him. So ends up being a 3-for-1 trade overall, and still very good for Blorp Unlimited.
Yeah. It's the Aegis as well on this Weaver, so I feel like you can still make moves, but they are lacking sort of a frontline tank in this Bristle, which I think would be useful to have in the fights. Those Soulbind and Zeus ulti down, I think you want to back off and just farm up your next item timing. We were getting towards this BKB, which will allow him to have even more freedom in these fights. But yeah, they're using what they have really nicely. It's the Grimstroke Soulbind and the Zeus ult is just so much sort of combined control and damage at the moment. And I mean, after Mercenaries, they don't really have an answer for it. This Deucer doesn't really do enough damage to sort of 1v5 the fight, and it's sort of just showing up to get a few additional kills after, but can't really be the main force in these team fights at the moment.
I mean, Liberace is trying to solve that problem right now, queuing up the Daedalus and has the scouting completed, so this is where she's going to start chunking them out. But once again, it goes back to the problem in the draft that we mentioned. How are you going to get this Dusa in a position where she can kick away on the side of Blorp, right? The few times that she's able to impact the fight so far, it's been kind of like Blorp misstepping and sort of walking into a field of vision where she can just auto-attack them down on the crucial squishy backline heroes that are supposed to stay far away, like the Zeus and the Grimstroke. But I'm sure they've learned their lesson by now. As the side of Blorp, they're playing this really, really nicely and maneuvering the map really well.
I would like to see a Swift Blink come out from the Dusa, because they don't really have anything that can hit this backline right now. It has to be. I mean, so much rests on Praetor in these fights to hit the backline, but there's frankly, just better targets for him. So having the Medusa be able to kind of get behind them and auto attack, I think would be super valuable.
Tier 3 items being picked up now for both sides as Spider Lace and Cocoon Charm are begets. For Blorp Unlimited, both very useful items. Okay, I hear a pumped up duel. Who are they trying to go on? Praetor shows himself on the Sova immediately and Silence as well. They want to start a fight. X2 and Praetor linked up. Now falling a little low. Here comes the Nimbus as well as the Zeus out. Thunder God's Wrath. X2 falling so low. Manages to throw out the sight in time, but it's not enough. Rigby now taking a lot of damage. They managed to take him down with the attacks from Liberace. And now cleaning up with the eye melting as well. It's this guy gets a wall, but the timelines as well. They don't have enough stuns. But here comes the stuns forward. Okay, Lincoln's being caught, but he still has the Aegis to work with. Turns around and strikes down Greg. The auto attacks are in. Liberace's right on top of this Weaver, but he still has the Aegis to work in. Now Bear Lord needs to be so careful on this Zeus. Ice trying to run away, but here comes Praetor trying to get revenge for all those times he lost those duels, but he might just be the one traded out if he's not careful. Ice trying to do what he can, buy back immediately from Greg. He wants to fend the rest of the side of Blorp off his course, and he will successfully do so. No detection to speak of. Still trying to find him.
Rule in 3.
Nope, the blink forward perhaps a bit preemptive, and the Shikuchi is there to get him out of that situation.
Yeah, there was 2 buybacks committed from after Mercenaries, and they really don't get anything extra for it. I mean, they already had the Weaver and the Ogre kill, the Bristle and the Ogre kill before those buybacks came out, so not getting the most value out of that. And yeah, just the overwhelming damage from that initial combo is just doing so much work, and now Ice becoming a real force. You saw that Aegis just given a bit more freedom to be able to roam around and take some kills. This Lincoln's blocking a lot of the lockdown the Afternoon Mercenaries have at the moment. So nicely executed by Blorp. 6k lead. They're looking good, but they need to keep pushing their advantage, I feel, because there is going to be a point of critical mass for this Medusa, I think, where you're not going to be able to sort of fights are going to get a lot more difficult in the near future, I believe.
I mean, the Medusa did get a little lucky in that fight. She was able to wrap around through the tree line next to the tower without being seen, and allowed her to get behind the team. So I think in a situation where they have to push and Rigby's able to stand in front of this Dusa and make sure the Dusa can't come in any further, the fight seems a little harder for Dire.
Inside our afternoon months,
Medusa still yet to die.
Yeah, they were looking for a pick in top side there. They were trying to gandering at that Bristleback, but the Bristleback saw them too with this nice little cliff ward. Sees all the motion happening and dips out of there immediately as they don't manage to find anything. Game quieting down a bit here as tension's definitely high, on side afternoon months, even though you feel like you have this nice position in the Dusa, it's shown that, she's not immortal, as you can take down all of her teammates and you can slowly whittle down her as well.
I mean, she hasn't died, but I see your point.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
Going to Daedalus next.
I would love to see a Swift Blink after this Daedalus. But
okay, BKB completed the LC with the BKB
yeah,
now.
This is, I think, where you want to fight, for sure.
Yeah, they want to smoke, but they're standing around for now, perhaps undecided or waiting for someone to show themselves on the map. It's going to be melting first. With the fire shield, just the innocent gun, no big deal.
Side.
But the smoke is gonna break. They're gonna see this though, as the BKB immediately duel out onto Bearlord, and here comes the huge echo from Greg. Gets out the 3. The BKB is there, but it only keeps Ice momentarily alive. The timelines as well, but the entire side of Afternoon Mercenaries staying alive. Ray Bailey shears. He's gonna be run down by Ice though, and meanwhile Liberace fighting up against that Nimbus. Praetor though, have you got a bit too far forward? You need to be careful. Bearlord hot on your heels. But what a successful fight from them as they bring forward again. Praetor trying to do the damage that he can, but turns back towards Rigby. Is there damage in time? Once again, the lack of disables coming out from the side of Afternoon Mercs, coming to bite them. Praetor falling a little low now, and Ice is just running circles around them. Doesn't have a lot of damage doesn't have a lot of HP to speak of, but now backed up by the Ogre, Bloodlust as well as Fire Shield. Will he gamble with this move uphill? No, he won't. Nicely done for this Weaver, managing to do the damage and take out the backline like he needs, but it wasn't in time to stop that beautiful echo slam.
Okay, they're still trying to fight though. It's not even over just yet. I melting forward. X2 not having the performance that he did on this Brewmaster with this pick and being picked off yet again. The Greaves coming a bit too little too late. And now Praetor, he's the next one they're looking at. The punches coming out from Ice. Is Shikuchiing forward? He wants to keep going. And Liberace, no mana on this Medusa. What can you do? Time lapse out. Bait out the response and keep trucking on. Ice, what a masterclass on this Weaver.
Yeah, there was a couple times in that fight that looked a little hairy for him, but consistently able to just get by and deal more damage. He's not afraid of anything in this game.
Yeah, Weaver not traditionally
really
would be countering Medusa, but let's not forget that Weaver inherently has a mana break talent, which he of course went for. 20 mana break, especially the Gemini attack, can really start to burn a lot of a chunk of Medusa's mana pool.
An interesting parallel to that fight earlier on the bot side, where sort of the fight is already going on and some late buybacks come out, but this time it's on the side of Blorp Unlimited, and they're able to turn it into 2 huge kills on the Necro and the Legion. And I think it's because of this ward. They have this nice ward in the top jungle that allows them to see the heroes of Afternoon Mercs retreating, and from that they're able to jump forward and find these 2 extra kills, which is a really nice bonus on what was not exactly the most successful team fight for them. And their prize looks to be the second rush.
Yeah, side of Afternoon Mercs, they're gonna back up here, but that just leaves more space for the side of Blorp now to take this Roshan. They're really starting to steamroll forward, and like we said, even though they need to play fast, I feel like Ice has definitely scaled to become such a scary DPS healer, right? And especially, one thing we didn't mention, the Shard on Weaver allowing him to basically be a gyro and shoot out shots to everyone who is left by the Swarm. I think it's an absolute menace for the side of Afternoon Mercs to deal with, to be honest.
It's a really nice shot actually for a core Weaver. Obviously, it feels like more often than not played in the support role these days, but it's still very much a carry hero, and that shard is going to be. I'm interested to see how it sort of works in the fights.
Okay, they spotted out Bearlord here, but has it been... Is it Bearlord that's really spotted out? Here comes Praetor with to press the attack. The Fissure as well to make some space, but Greg gonna be the one to fall. And I feel like a bit curious that we still haven't seen the shard yet. It's finally being queued up, but 34 minutes in. I expected this a lot earlier from Praetor.
I think this is sort of the Legion conundrum where not really finding the last hit on the jewel, so you go for the Blade Mail for a bit more damage in the jewels, but you really need this BKB in this game, and that just sort of slows down your shard timing. So yeah, I think this Blade Mail hasn't really had the impact that Praetor has maybe hoped it would, maybe wishing that they'd gone for the shard a little bit sooner.
Indeed. I mean, it's
now
admirable,
Aegis on ice.
that they kind of try and run around the map and try and make moves happen, but obviously it didn't work out. Rigby has become this absolute monster with that Aghanim Scepter completed, as well as the BKB for itself, so potential to negate all the control coming out from the side of the Mercs. So that could be huge here, except for the duel of course, but I mean, if you're dueling with Bristleback, you more than likely have lost the duel.
Yeah, it's not the situation you want to be in. You want to be dueling these squishy targets, you know, ideally the Zeus I think at this point, who is looking at the refresher in the near future, not really close to it. Does have one of the perseverances finished, but he's sort of eyeing up as we see a smoke from all 5 of Afternoon Mercs. Praetor leads the charge.
Aggressive move.
Ooh, if they could pop the Aegis free, that'd be really nice.
Okay,
Cheesehead Greg.
Cheesehead Greg being caught out. They actually opt to use the Reaper side for him, which is a pretty interesting commitment. But Ice is firing away, but straight into this Medusa. He's taking a lot of damage, needs to be careful. Timeless back, but straight into the hands of Liberace. And the Echo Slam, they managed to get the Aegis out. For now, the answer back is this Necrophos. X2 first one to fall. Where is the detection? It's not there.
He's got no time lapse, he's got no BKB.
Yeah, time lapse. And the totem gonna keep him down, and now finally the shard allowing Liberace to stand and deliver, and he does. Godlike double kill. Now 2 left on the side of each team. It's Rigby and Zeus, but no mana to speak of, no HP as well, and this Medusa doing so much damage with that Daedalus. We talked about how they're lacking damage a bit perhaps on the side of Afternoon Mercenary, and Liberace maybe this thing tells us to shut the hell up.
Yeah, the big thing there was Ice commits forward, uses BKB and uses time lapse. So when he gets echo slammed by Greg to finish him off at the first life, he then is pretty much in a hole with nowhere to get out of, because Greg uses pretty much enchant tome straight away, locks this Weaver down and really has nowhere to go other than to sort of try and shoot away, but wasn't able to escape. And at that point, Liberace has, he's the big boss in this fight, and still yet to die in this game. 9-0-6, having a fantastic game, going towards the Satanic next, which I'm a big fan of. I know you like the Swift Blink, but I think this item's also very nice.
I think it's good with where their map is now. If they had a little more map control earlier, I think the Swift Link would have been a little better because it allows you to be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, it's one of those win more.
Yeah.
You put the shard on, put a Swift Blink, and hit high ground, and towers are just going to sort of melt. But yeah, this is the safer play, I think.
Yeah, I
agree. Sensible one.
So they do pick up ice for like what seems to be the first time their entire, or at least for the most part of the game, right? Because even if he had deaths before that, it doesn't really feel like he ever was under any threat. And yeah, 2 deaths before that, but this Weaver really popping off, keeping up in net worth because this is Medusa, which is not something you see, especially with how much space Liberace has been getting, but finally putting it to good use. That Daedalus completed, now eyeing out the Satanic. Once again, we must go back to the question, how do you kill this Medusa? Because with the shard from the LC, the Zeus can't pump nearly enough damage to deal with her.
The level 25 now for Juicer, so the split shot will use modifiers. It's a tough one to deal with. She's going to be dealing so much damage in these fights across split targets, and not the best kite potential on the rest of Blorp, except for this Weaver. They're going to smoke up, look for something, but...
Yeah, but they're going to get revealed by the wards, or at least I'm melting, just making the executive decision to de-ward there. Okay.
Yeah.
They're inching a bit far forward, but they also have yet another ward placed here, so nice little vision game there from Afternoon Mercs, ensuring that they have some sort of pathway or gateway into picking up somebody who's potentially farming the jungle away.
Liberace queuing up the rapier.
The Divine.
Yeah.
I mean, hasn't died yet.
Yeah, that's true.
I like it.
I don't know if this is necessary, but going for the big ball play.
Hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I believe somebody said that, so I think we should keep that in mind when Liberace.
It was the great one. It was the great one.
No, it was from Lilo and Stitch. You're wrong. We had a conversation about a quote that I had mistakenly thought was from Rocky earlier, but it was actually from Lilo and Stitch. In this one, it's a similar situation.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough one. Lilo and Stitch is classic for a reason, right? Just jam-packed with so many memorable quotes. A bit of a Mandela effect coming in, but as to be expected. You're a bit too young to remember all these, so I don't blame you.
Okay, let me tell you why I like this Divine Rapier. If he ends up going in, you can't time lapse through a Divine Rapier Daedalus crit.
Ooh.
Like there's nothing you can do about that. And fight maybe breaking out.
They're gonna see Ice though, but X2 is gonna be the first one to fall on this Necro. They don't manage to get the Echo Slam that they want here off, and the Binary is coming out, but Grimshow first one to fall. Liberace just standing there, dealing the damage. Praetor running forward as well. Rigby has to be so careful on this Bristleback, already being tagged up by that Liberace Medusa, but now not a lot of resources to work with, low on the mana. As the buybacks, they come in from X2. And it seems like a bit of a rerun of the fight on the cliff, but they don't manage to get the execution off as they did the first time round. Greg immediately falls, and Echo Slam what looks to be the ground in like 1 or 2 BKB targets. And it's all because the Swarm so pesky, latches onto him. Might have even been the static field damage of the Zeus ulti, right? Just catching him off guard and preventing that blink. And because of that, they don't have nearly enough control to keep the side of Blorp in the hands of this Medusa, and Liberace, as strong as he might be, can't get the kids out on the correct target.
I don't know, still Liberace just completely unchallenged in these fights. I don't know if you saw the Weaver, but trying to fight up against Liberace had to get the time lapse off just in time to keep themselves alive, and I mean Liberace never really in any danger, so there needs to be some sort of a plan here, I think, from Blorp as to how you kill this Juicer, because I don't think it's kind of gone to a point where I don't think you can't, it's not going to get easier, and I think it's progressed past a point where you can't really kill everyone else. I do see one sort of plan in terms of a halberd being queued up on the bristle. That is very nice. That's going to buy you at least a bit of time in these fights, but I mean, these Mantra Illusions are still going to hit pretty hard with the split shot uses modifiers.
And all of the remaining talents too are very good defensively from Medusa's perspective.
Yeah, you just get some evasion, just 15% evasion. Is that a talisman? Yep. So you just get a free talisman of evasion with your level 27 talent. So that's nice.
Yeah, I mean already at that level 26, right? Like so strong on this Medusa, and such a formidable force. Looks like they want to group up for some sort of smoke. They want to try and find a pick that could end them the game. Ray Belicious has it in his back pocket, so he's gonna probably pop this soon enough. The circle out immediately coming out from ice, so he wants to play in this area, but he's not sure where they are at present moment. Nobody has shown for quite a while, so they're playing a little wary. Important to note that Cheesehead Greg has completed this Aghanim Scepter, so gonna be able to pin that Dark Portrait of the Medusa and turn it against a team, which is gonna be a huge asset for the side of Blorp. Of course, that's the say. When I say that, that's kind of to say that he even gets his hands on the Medusa in the first place because it's not being shredded down as we've seen time. Okay, here comes the engage though. You see this Mercernaries and BKB spawns on both ends. Predator, he wants to find someone but not able to latch onto anyone at the moment. He's gonna have to offer a Sapa duel, but manages to get Bearlock yet again. Here comes the Soulbind though onto Greg as well as Predator. Where's the Echo Slam? It's not available. Finally pops it out. No, Greg Shell falls before he can land it. And 2 buybacks available from his spawns. They're not gonna commit it yet. But here comes this Dusa standing in the midst of it all. Ace well to 3 though. Right on top of the Nimbus. They're starting to do the damage. X2 falling low. Predator as well. And this Necro's gonna fall. So is that lit. So is the LC and Liberace right under all the damage from Blorp Unlimited. They're gonna be able to take it in one fell swoop. And even though it looked so dicey because they got the duel off in time, the damage is there from the side of Blorp. They're able to dish it out. And look at the damage from Ice there, 8,000 damage from him alone. Just really doing so much work with those bugs and the split shot of his own, right?
Yeah, it was the three-man Inkswell stun in the middle of the Nimbus, and Ice just able to pour in the damage onto mainly this Medusa, but now forced to buyback to defend this high ground.
Yeah, Liberace, you need to be careful here. There's so much control coming out from the side.
Oh my god, that was so much damage.
And Ray, he's gonna die. They buy back on this Earthshaker. Where is the Echo Slam? Can it come in time? Here comes the Fissure as well. Bearlock being caught up for the moment, but no Echo Slam to speak of at this current point in time. The shot as well. Bearlock's in a little bit of trouble, but they have to know this Echo Slam is available as they're looking towards the mid-tier 3. They get it for themselves, and now the Rex as well. This is more than likely going to be one lane, but does Greg commit in for the Echo? They have to know they're splitting up very nicely on the side of Blorp though. They don't want to be caught with their pants down. Oh, don't tell me. They're trying to go for the game ender. They want to even out this series. Bearlord, he's had enough of being picked off by duels. He wants to put an end to this godforsaken match. Rigby being stunned up at this current moment. I see a very nice Echo Slam, but no opening for Greg just yet to go in. He's trying to do what he can, but the BK being already Ice trying to commit for this. But Greg a bit late in with that Echo, and it's not gonna have the effect that it needs. Rigby pops the BKB. Liberace trying to do the damage that he needs, but bear in mind this is Ice hitting away on your Ancient. I don't even know where the Divine Rapier went, but Praetor doing the damage that he needs. Time lapse as well, and the Necro Scythe going off on Battle on the backline. But here comes this Weaver. No!
No!
And that is Bearlord's buyback, 160 seconds without the Zeus. But you do have the buyback to work with for this Weaver as well as this Ogre, so it's not all over just yet. The side of Afternoon Mercenaries, they're gonna have to try and push out the waves where they can, of course. At the end of the day, as the dust settles, they use a lot of buybacks, sure, but they managed to hold.
Gonna do it. Rigby's here. He's gonna hit the Ancient.
Ice got stunned by the Stone Gaze.
Rigby, he hit in the corner, he's trying to finish the game, but here's Ray Belicious with
Oh,
the
and
Hex,
the
and more
forward
than likely the Disable has the duel as well and challenges him to it. You're not hitting my Ancient, you're hitting me, says Praetor, and cleans up that sneaky little Bristleback who was trying to get the last hit.
That's a nice play though, buys a lot of time. That probably means you don't have to expend the buyback on this Weaver, which is huge because now no buyback juicer but the buyback Weaver. I guess it doesn't really matter too much because yeah, you do have this Divine now on the juicer. So what happened? Did he buy it?
He bought it after the fight.
I'm sure.
He
Yeah,
didn't have it. He didn't have it in that fight.
Yeah, so Liberace
Yeah, I
now
wasn't sure if the
marching
Weaver
down the
blocked
mid
it.
lane with this Divine. He might be looking for the game ender himself. They know the Zeus doesn't have buyback, and that's such a big part of their damage and their fights. Has been causing so much problems with them with the Nimbus so far, but Kratos now with the AoE press the attack. How are you gonna survive against this? Yes, you have the D-push of Greg, but so much sustain coming in. He's more than likely gonna pop it again. There we go. And exactly. And now
A leveler as well for Liberace.
Indeed. They're hitting away at this
He's up in
tower.
5.
Cheesehead Greg trying to do what he can. Here comes Ice though. He's alive again. This Weaver is so scary. They might be looking for a way
They go
to
for the
end this
game.
game.
Oh, they
And
might look
Liberace
for it.
starting to hit away, but here is the fire shield negating some of that damage. X2, he needs to be a bit careful here as Ice coming forward with the Shiguchi, but so have to be so careful, taking so much damage on Liberace. The Divine Rapier is just way too much to handle, and that Grimstroke is gonna die again. Has the buyback though, has to commit it. The Ancient is falling. They didn't be so careful. Ice, he falls so low, manages to get the time rest off, but Kreta under a bit of threat now. That is a huge component of their damage. If he falls, has the buyback to work with though, but not gonna commit it. Doesn't want to commit for the boost to travel, but he finally presses
The
it.
Ancient.
X2 as well. The Ancient falling a little low,
No,
but starting to
multicast.
Liberace doesn't have the mana to work with. The multicast from Eye Melting. He manages to satanic himself up. Hitting away out the Ancient. Can he do a multicast again? ×2, but here comes Greg with the Echo Slam. Trying to finish out this Ogre Magi, but then
he's dead.
Dusa is gonna die. No buyback on Dusa. And now Greg scrambling to try and pick up the Rapier, but it's not there.
Predator got it.
Ice,
Predator
he's
got it.
speeding it up. Here comes the Zeus though. He's back alive. And now Krita and X2, they need to run. This is the buyback from the LC. Can't keep himself alive though. Has the Divine Rapier, but can he get out of this situation? Absolutely not. Gets slapped down, and just when it looked like Afternoon Mercenaries could win it with one fell swoop, holy shit, Blorp are back.
That's the game.
That has to be game. There's no way.
buyback except for the
Dude,
Necro. I mean, they just left the Divine as well.
Dude, I just wanted a chill cast and my voice is so damn tired.
Oh my god. I thought they were gonna do it. Did you see the multicast onto the juicer? She was
This-
trying to hit throne.
Absolutely,
It's like a
this
4
man-
times multicast and then like a 3 times.
This man has my
Oh
respect,
my
and
word.
This really might have been one
That's
of the
the
games where
game.
you get BKB, but Rigby now leading the charge. They managed to finish off the side of the Afternoon Mercenaries. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I have no idea. That was crazy.
A bit hard to parse that one.
Yeah.
Ah, my head hurts.
I have minimal words to describe that one.
I want to see that. So it's still favored. Dota Plus still favored Blorp, even though they were rushing down the Ancient. Interesting.
Or even though they had the Ancient being rushed down on.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
gonna lie.
They've been
Liberace-
saying there was no way for them to win. Confirmed.
Does BKB dispel Halberd? Because that Halberd really messed him up. That was a inspired purchase by Rigby, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, Rigby is a real Halberd enjoyer. He kind of bought it last game as well, and it really comes to... It pays more than it's worth. It literally nets them a win, so very nicely done for them. We can try and pull people in for a winners interview if you guys want, or we can just skip it entirely. I'm all good.
I think if you guys do winners interview, I think I'm gonna hop off at this point.
Yeah,
I think
also
we'll hop
like,
off. Like I said.
like my brain is like slightly at the end of its strength here, so I think I'm gonna pass on the winners interview. But man, what a game! Holy shit!
You gotta clear that final fight. That was crazy. All right. Yeah.
Alright.
Benji, do you want to play any like later tonight, or are you doing? big work?
I think I need an early night's sleep. I think so.
Okay. Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, well, with that said, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry if you're here and you expected a proper cast. This was just one with the lads. We're just all chilling. Benji has an exam to study for, and Bizalonius has his own very, very inspired life to get back to. And for me, it's like 5 fucking AM, so I need to get to bed. But so sorry if the cast wasn't, up to your standards. Hopefully, when we come back for the next one, it might be a little bit better and a little bit more fine-tuned. But forgive us on this one. Thank you for tuning in either way. And for the teams, if you guys are watching, thank you so much for joining us. And we hope you enjoyed this cast, even though it was like really like low energy and kind of, it was just like that. But thank you so much for joining me, Bizalonius and Benji, of course, as usual. I'm gonna exclamation mark guest there so you can find.
Oh, you're too kind.